Sup everyone, welcome back to another video, and this is going to be a little bit different from the usual as you see from the thumbnail and the title. This one is talking a little bit outside of the realm of gameplay for Genshin Impact and more about behind the scenes and the creative process. So this happened just a couple days ago. It was brought to my attention during my previous live stream, but I didn't feel comfortable making a video until I got all the pieces together. So when I first got into this during my live stream, it was just somebody telling me, hey, the voice actor for Paimon made a Twitter post talking about them not getting paid for a voice acting gig. We had no idea what company it was, how it happened, the inner workings, so I didn't want to just abruptly make a video accusing whoever or whatever. But now we have many more sources of information to go off of, and yes, we do have a culprit, and in fact I do have even the name of the company. However, this is going to take a little more explaining than just giving you guys a target to go after. But at the end of this, I hope we can pool the efforts of the community and maybe lay on some pressure. Right, so this was a tweet that kickstarted it all, for me at least. Right, so this is the voice actor for Paimon, and they say, I've been waiting for payment from sessions that stretch back to December 2022. Kind of ridiculous how I'm struggling to pay rent because this studio on this big project hasn't been paying me for my work. Now, this is not a lot to go off of, and in fact, it's actually very ambiguous. Like, what is this? My speculation was, are they not allowed to specify the studio, or they're not allowed to give a name as to who hired them for this work because of a certain contract they signed or something? So I was like, are we ever going to get to the bottom of this if they're bound by contract to not say, right, or reveal who it is? But thankfully that was proven wrong, because the same day they tweeted this. Just to be clear, we don't know if this is the fault of the studio or the game company, but regardless, if the game was union, this wouldn't happen. So now they're definitely trying to get this off the ground. However, even the voice actors have no idea where the problem lies. So let us continue. This is when the first time the name of the studio pops up. So this game should be produced on a union contract, Formosa, which is the name of the studio. I'm going to show you guys their homepage a little later so you guys know where to send the hate, but it's not to say HoYoVerse is completely free of fault, but we'll get to that a little later, right? So Formosa is a SAG-AFTRA signatory. This game has been eroding VO industry standards since it started recording. The cast had to fight for over a year just to get a 2-hour minimum. Now this whole cast should follow Brandon's lead here. So who is Brandon and what happened with Brandon? So this is what Brandon said. You see, I told you guys, this is not as simple as just one person. It's a lot of people. It's like many voice actors who were missing payouts. So Brandon says, after a 5th email with no response. Now I get 1, 2, but once you get to the 2nd email with no response, like something, oh, it's a weekend, maybe it's a holidays, maybe something happened, right? They're not in the office. But 5th email, no response. This is regarding Genshin Impact. So when people first saw this, like boom, their minds just exploded. It's like, Genshin Impact, really? Like the knee-jerk reaction was of course to be like, okay, what the hell is going on, right? Inexcusable for us as actors to be waiting 4+ months for pay when you make 86 million per month. Unfortunately, this is not an uncommon problem. So this has a separate thread. I'm not going to go into the whole nitty-gritty. If you guys want, you can go check out Brandon and follow the tweets there. My point here is just to cover the story of what happened. Now this basically kickstarted an entire knee-jerk chemical reaction with the community thinking, wow, this is insanity. How can a company that rakes in like over $1 billion of revenue per year not pay their voice actors? Like it's not even an insane amount of money to be paying out to voice actor. Like this is like a small fraction of their, and to say it's part of the cost of production. It's not like they're expecting you to make additional payment. This is just part of the creative process. So of course people were pissed. They're quick to label HoYoVerse the evil company here. Now this is because at the time nobody knew where the problem was. Was it HoYoVerse didn't pay the studio, or was it HoYoVerse paid the studio and the studio has not paid the voice actors, right? So maybe Brandon went directly to HoYoVerse, because look, what they said is after 5th email with no response. This is regarding Genshin Impact. Did they contact HoYoverse or did they contact the studio, Formosa, right? We don't know, and nothing was clarified. So this required more digging. People needed to know more, which leads us to this statement. July 14th. This happened very quickly. So the 12th, the 13th, the 14th. So this should give you an idea like how quick HoYoverse is to responding when things actually do matter. So next time you guys think, oh, HoYoverse doesn't care about the West, HoYoverse doesn't care about what we say, like everything we post, we make like we don't get enough traction because they don't care about. Listen, they only choose to ignore us because it doesn't really impact them. Look at this. This actually impacts them. And look at their response, right? So HoYoverse has provided us with a statement regarding the missing payment for Genshin Impact voice actors. Aha, so what is going on here? We truly regret to learn about the ongoing situation. Genshin Impact values and respects the work and efforts of everyone involved, and we support our voice actors to claim their proper due. We have made payments to our recording studio on time, and we immediately urge the studio to pay our voice actors from our past payment. Meanwhile, we are also seeking alternative solutions, and we will keep you posted on further developments. Okay, so HoYoverse kicks the ball into the court of Formosa now, being like, we made the payments. Everything was done on time, right? It's Formosa's job now to give that money as they should have to the voice actors. Why weren't the voice actors paid, right? And HoYoverse is like, they will keep us posted on further development. But at this point, it's very clear if HoYoverse has issued a statement saying they've already paid the studio, like there's no way to make a public statement like this claiming that if you had not paid the studio. It's a very easy thing to disprove if the studio would be like, we didn't get the money, right? Look at the, because HoYoverse can easily just open up their statements and look at this money went to this company at what date. These are like transactional records that we can't play. So if they come out and say this, like, I would like to think that they're telling the truth, because you would not put out a public statement like this if you cannot defend it in court, because this could go to court if they specifically say we already made the payments when they haven't, right? So by that line of thinking, I believe HoYoverse is telling the truth. And it's true. A company that makes $86 million per month have no reason. Like, what reason do they have to withhold the money from the voice actor, right? So then we have a culprit. We can finally get to the meat of this story, is who's responsible. And it seems like the studio that Genshin has been outsourcing the audio work to, Formosa Group. This is the company, people. So this is the company everybody should be looking towards. So it's widely recognized as a leading force in post-production audio. Like, I don't know if this was the contractor that HoYoverse had used since the very beginning, and suddenly they just decided, hey, we're not going to pay the voice actors. That I don't know. Or this is a new partnership that HoYoverse has decided to enter into because the previous one was, costing too much or whatever, for whatever reason, we don't know. But this is not like some small company. Like, if you guys do a little bit of digging, they worked on many projects and they have different subsectors. In fact, the one we're currently looking at is their overarching group. There's a separate group called Interactive, Formosa Interactive, which is just a subsector of the general Formosa group. So this is still the same company, right? And this one seems to work with the video games. Look at these titles. These aren't small titles. So what's going on here, right? And of course, you guys will want an answer. I want an answer too. But this is as far as the digging that I've been able to get to, is that this is the studio that's responsible for withholding the payment for the voice actors. So maybe a lot of the voice actors thought that, okay, Genshin Impact, HoYoverse has the overall control when it comes to payment, and they've been contacting HoYoverse when in fact this is the studio they should be contacting. However, that doesn't make sense either, because isn't this studio the one they've been working with? This is the studio that maybe they even have a contract with, maybe not directly to HoYoverse. So this studio should have been the one that they contacted from the very beginning. So if that is all to be true, then this studio has been the one that ghosted them. So why would they do that? Right? I think it's time the community gets an answer. HoYoverse has issued an official statement. What about Formosa? Right? Formosa, if you have something to say, now would be a good time to say it. You know what I mean? I don't know how many people this video is going to reach. I urge you guys to share this because from what it seems like, EroticWalruss made an official statement. They said they've already paid the studio, and it's now the studio's responsibility to pay the voice actors. Now, of course, the studios probably would take a cut and whatnot. That's for them to figure out. But it is inexcusable for a studio like of this size, and I would even go as far to say reputation, to delay payments for even a few days, let alone months. And did they think this was not going to blow up on social media when you owe talents money that they need to survive for 6 months? You thought this was just gonna stay under wraps? Like maybe if you were working on a small indie title and the voice actor was gonna get paid for like $1,000, $2,000, but I would assume for months of work for such a large project such as Genshin Impact, you would have the foresight of knowing, first, these voice actors are not nobodies. They have their own communities, they have their own supporters, they have active social media accounts, and most of which more reputable and followed than your very own social media accounts. You thought it was a good idea to delay their payments and ghost them for their payments. You thought, you generally thought that was a good idea. I don't know what Formosa was thinking when they decided to go down this route, but now that it's gotten to this point, I am here providing just news for you guys, but I really sincerely hope Formosa has a legitimate reason for this. But to be honest with you guys, I don't think there is one. There is no legitimate reason they could, there's no thing they could possibly say that could justify not only delaying the payments, but also ghosting the voice actors when they try to reach out for an explanation. Right, so that's gonna be it for now. I'll maybe keep up to date with this if Formosa does make a statement, but so far, this is where it's at. And like I said, since Genshin has made a statement already, there's only one entity left to blame. Right, you can't blame the voice actors. This is a three-way transaction. EroticWalruss was the one who hired Formosa to hire and work with the voice actors. So the voice actors were not paid. Genshin already made the payment to the studio on time as they claim. That's going to be it. We'll talk more about this in the live stream today. So if you guys want to hear more about this, tune in later on YouTube. Until then, urge you all to stay safe. Peace, peace. Bye-bye.